thank you, Mr. Robin, for attending this seminar for our company C&T Group in this hotel. And I'm asking, do you have any new technology in the near future to be introduced to the international market?
Yes, well, actually, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to attend to this seminar. It's always a pleasure coming to Egypt, and the seminar has been very well attended today with a lot of good questions and a lot of interest from a wide range of people. As you know, I come to Egypt quite a lot, but this time we're talking about our new technology, the latest in analog addressable fire detection and alarm. And I think there was a good interest in many of the things we've shown today, and I think the business opportunities in Egypt are looking very strong. I think Egypt is coming out of the recession, and in coming out of the recession, I can see growth in the future in tourism and also in industrial activity, which I think we've got the products, and with your partnership, we will have a good future together. So again, thank you very much. To 20 loops if you need. Probably you've seen that in the back. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that today, but if you need these kind of solutions, we can help you. It wasn't a Kentec system, it wasn't a Hochiki system at that time. Now it's been replaced, and we have King's Cross St Pancras is protected by Kentec Hochiki. The Eurostar terminal is protected by Kentec Hochiki. There's some custom-made panels in there. And the graphics is on a Sony Bravia 3 big display. I think it's a 42-inch display. I think it's a 42-inch display with any fire incident is immediately flashed up to the control panel. I can give you many, many examples of that. A water electricity generation plant. It's in the mountains. There's a huge amount of water. If the electricity supply is not enough and they need a short-term boost, they will release the water through some water turbines. And the weight of the water will drive the turbines, and the water will flood out to sea, and it will generate electricity. It's like an emergency water electricity generating. Just to give you some information on that point, we have a large number of large looped panels. And for example, you asked me how many panels in a network. The most typical number of panels we have in the UK is 2 or 3 in a small system. We have a large number in the UK which are much more than 20, 23, 25, 27, particularly in hospitals. Hospitals in the UK, they keep putting new buildings up. They add an annex, they add another ward, they add another wing. They just keep on putting new buildings, and they don't want to replace the whole system every time. So when they do that, they put another panel in. Then they want it networked. There are many, many installations in UK, Hochiki, Kentec, the most famous probably being John Radcliffe Hospital in Oxfordshire, special needs hospital. I think there's 43 panels in a network there. 43 panels times 4 loops times 127 devices maximum. You wouldn't put 127, but that's maximum. I will give you a very brief demonstration of our Synchro analog addressable. This is part of our training program. I'm not going to train you today, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight into some of the things that we can do. And one of the points I wanted to talk about was the additional power supply requirements and how to handle it. You can see the detectors and the loops, modules. You can add extra loops, push buttons, IOs, up to you. You've got these particular Kentec devices if you need local, on a separate bus, local input outputs and local repeaters. In the top left-hand corner, my finger pointing goes right. It's some step towards redundancy. It doesn't make it redundant, but what it does, it tells you the panel's not working. And that's an important fact. Is 2 extinguishing areas. 2 areas, but it's flexible. You can have more areas if you want. We make a bigger cabinet. We extend the cabinet further down, and you can have 4 areas. This is a conventional panel. We also have an analog panel. You have to look at the resistance, the inductance, and the capacitance. You have to look and see whether it's a twisted pair, shielded or not. The characteristics of the cable can be a little bit influential. But Rob, over to you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. As we mentioned briefly, generally fire alarm systems are approximately 1.5 millimetre square cable, roughly 1.5 kilometres in length for each loop, but as Robin said, the devices that you put on the loop. Obviously, if you're using the Hochiki wall sounders at their maximum volume, they will have a higher output current, especially if you have beacons as well. So it will depend, but generally 127 sounders, 127 detectors would be approximately 1.5 kilometres.
مجموعة التجارة والتكنولوجيا الحمد لله يعني شركة متخصصة في اللايت كارنت سيستمز. بدأت النشاط في يناير 93. أنا سابقا كنت في الكويت وزارة الدفاع، كنت استشاري، وبعدين ربنا تاب عليا وبقيت مقاول. بدأنا نشاطنا بالفاير ألارم سيستم، وبعد كده تخطينا إلى تغطية أغلب اللايت كارنت سيستمز أو اللو فولتج سيستمز زي الفاير ألارم والفاير فايتنج، السكيورتي، الاكسس كنترول، السي سي تي في، البي بي اكس، البابليك ادرس، الفويس ايفاكيويشن سيستمز، الميتال ديتكشن جيتس، الاكس راي، النيرس كول للمستشفيات. ومعانا بعض الانظمه بنمثل فيها مصر كوكيل وحيد، وبعض الانظمه اوثورايز ديلر. فاحنا اساسا معانا في الفاير الارم معانا كنترول ايكويبمنت وكيل وحيد لشمال افريقيا، لان عندنا مكتب في الجزائر من حوالي 3 سنين. وهوتشيك يوروب برضو احنا بنمثلها في مصر. في الشهادات موجوده على فكره. البرزنتيشن ده موجود في السي دي اللي مع حضراتكم وهيتوزع عليكم مع بعض الهدايا من الشركه. In مرسى علم airport we installed the fire alarm in VIP building and the water pump station building, and also Intercontinental Abu Suma, which some people know that it is Kiriazi. It's a very big project. It costs about 3.5 Egyptian million pounds, fire alarm and firefighting, about 2,000 smoke detectors, about 8 panels, 8 loop. طبعا مبنى التلفزيون في ماسبيرو في حوالي يمكن 10 شركات احنا نفذنا فيه الطابق الارضي. عملنا مترو الانفاق خط المرج حلوان، مينا العين السخنه مع شركه الفا، يمكن المهندس احمد موجود معانا، عملوا السكيورتي شركه الفا. واحده قرى سياحيه موفنبيك شرم الشيخ، سييرا في خليج نب قريه سياحيه ايطالي، في طابة سي ستار. يعني الحمد لله مشاريع كتيرة جدا ما بين مستشفيات، مصانع، قرى سياحية. Also for hospitals, a lot of hospitals in psychology hospital in Abbasiyya and in Khanka. Bone marrow, it's a very big project also in Ain Shams University. Bone marrow transplantation with Hassan Allam and أبناء حسن علام. Yes, أبناء حسن is the main contractor. Blood bank in Aswan, national hospitals for eyes. It's very specialized in eyes and ophthalmology. Plus 12 extinguishing panels, very big projects. And also Oriental waivers, النساجون الشرقيون. عملنا معهم أكثر من 3 عمليات 4 عمليات. مصنع أمون، مخزن أمون تقريبا، مخزن أمون ومخزن الاستيراد والمحلي والمستورد. Rexam, and also international company, UK company. It has maybe 40 factories for cans in 6 October City. And also a lot of projects. Some we didn't show here for some security purposes, like Egypt Sat-1, مصر Sat-1. ده محطة قمر صناعي أوكراني. نفذناه حتى من مرحلة التصميم.
American standard, NFPA or UL standard. And you have a British or European norm standard. Yes. So we would like to, some of our projects is stick with the UL and the NFPA, like Cairo Airport, and some it is open to any standard. So this is according to the acceptance of the consultant. So there are difference between the two standards. Yes. Yes.
Hochiki has the both.
So we always, the consultant doing tender documents, which is specification, drawings, BOQ, which is It's a basic design. And always the contractors put his input. And after awarding, we do what we call it construction documents. And these construction documents, it is the one including the after that shop drawings and all these things. So it's a normal procedure.
Sensor X have a lot of development software. We have a guard point for the network-based, web-based, portable device, and integrated for a lot of other systems. For example, CCTV access control. We will see the integration solution for the guard point. As we see in this picture, you can manage the software of the access control through the CCTV system. You can, if the card holder, the card person enters some region, wrong region, you will see his picture. Okay, this is the integration of the software. As you see, we can view the alarm, we can view the CCTV, we can view the BMS system. We can integrate all this system through this powerful software. Enterprise feature for this software. This software can use the SQL database, server redundancy and backup, multi-site partition, user login segmentation, multi-pooling, single pooling, ultimate workstation, OPC integration platform, advanced redundant communication. Also fully integrated with the biometric.
In OPC, you can use different supplier, different manufacturer products. Huh?
Yes. Because there is open software.
OPC.
Yes. Here we can describe the multi-site, multi-pooling, because in the guard point software, you can not use only one site as a backup redundancy. You can use a multi-site. As we see, there is a site A, site B, and there is a headquarter site. So you can use your database in each site, no problem. Okay? Next,
you mean a distributed management software?
Yes.
Or it is centralized?
No.
Disaster recovery, sorry.
Disaster recovery.
Yes.
Disaster recovery.
You can use many sites as a disaster, yes. You can distribute your managing software. Failed, the other site you can manage the software. This is the type of interface through our panel. There is Wi-Fi, TCP IP, fiber optic converter, RS485, RS232, RS422. You can use all this type.
بسبب قلة مشاكل هوتشيكي ما بنعرفش نعمل عقود صيانة، وده مش كلام بيع لكن دي حقيقة والله. كتير من الشركات الزميلة مرتبات والأوفر هيد متغطي بالعقود الصيانة، أنا مش عارفين نعمل عقود صيانة لأن ما فيش مشاكل. بعد نهاية سنة الضمان قالوا نعمل عقد صيانة، تقول استنى ماجد بيه شهرين 3 ونشوف، يفوتوا ما فيش مشاكل، سنة ما فيش مشاكل، سنتين 5 سنين. يعني هوتشيكي اللي راكب في انتر كونتيننتال كريازي 5 سنين ما فيش مشاكل، بعد 5 سنين قال لي وزارة السياحة طلبت عقد صيانة فاعمل لي عقد صيانة. مش كلام تجاري ولكن دي حقيقة فعلا أقل مشاكل شفناها مع هوتشيكي.
We have the flat response technology. This was developed by Hochiki many years ago as it undertook a project to ascertain the best angle of the optics within inside the optical chamber to help eliminate unwanted alarms. Better than the ionisation, but in the case of test number 5, which is heptane, the ionisation was better than the original optical. But in changing the chamber design, we now have a new high performance chamber which is almost a flat line, hence the name flat response. In some cases, as you can see, it does actually outperform an ionisation sensor. So in light of this, Hochiki has removed ionisation detectors from their conventional range, and we have a very limited supply of ionisation in the addressable range because we believe that ionisation, there is also a disposal cost, approximately £5 sterling for every ionisation detector installed, because we have to dispose of these properly in line with government regulations. So ionisation is gradually being phased out and more customers are taking the new photoelectric chamber.
لأن في البلاد المتقدمة زي أوروبا وأمريكا الديتكتور الأيوني بعد ما يبقى اكسبايرد لازم يدفن بطريقة خاصة لأن في مواد مشعة. طبعا في بلدنا ما عندناش الثقافة دي، لكن هم بيكلفوا زي ما قال دلوقتي 5 جنيه استرليني عشان يعني يدفنوا. احنا عندنا طبعا بنحطه جنب السرير وبنحطه في المخزن بالظبط كده. لكن البلاد اللي بتحافظ على البيئه ان دفنه مشكله، فاحنا خلاص الايوني حتى المالتي سنسور كان زمان في سنسور ايوني وسنسور ضوئي وسنسور حراره، دلوقتي المالتي سنسور في هوتشيكي دخان وحراره بس.
The photoelectric smoke sensor is available. The ESP in the conventional range and are intrinsically safe and marine approved ranges.
intrinsically safe الاكسبلوجن بروف ديتكتور غالي جدا، فالانترنسيكلي سيف لو فاكرين الزينر دايود بيعمل سبريشن لاي تيار عالي، فده يستخدم في لو كنا محتاجين وسط فيه مواد متفجره او سريعه الاشتعال. الانترنسيكلي سيف ده حل وسط، ما هواش بارتفاع ثمن الاكسبلوجن بروف ولكن اكسبتد بالان اف بي اي والبي اس انه يستخدم في حاله لو وسط فيه مواد سريعه اشتعال او كده.
Cheeky, and I don't believe any other manufacturer which allows. The first sensor we have is the ALG-EN. This is our photoelectric smoke sensor. It's an analog addressable device because it has a photoelectric chamber, but it does use the digital communications protocol to communicate with the control panel. Some of the features of the device, as Mr. Maga mentioned, it has twin fire LEDs. Many years ago, Hochiki devices had one LED. We undertook a project to fit 2 LEDs to the device. So when you install the sensor into the room, providing you have clear line of sight, you can stand anywhere in the room and see at least one LED illuminated. Okay? If it was one LED only, you would not see it obviously from the other side. So this will help you find the device in fire a lot quickly.
بحيث ان لمبتين البيان يبقى بتشاف من الكوريدور من جميع الجهات او من الغرفه. كتير من الشركات عندها لمبه بيان واحده.
As well as the smoke sensor, we have the ACB-E. This is our multi-heat sensor. This device is a combined rate of rise and fixed heat sensor, and you can adjust the heat threshold from 0 to 88 degrees Celsius, and anywhere in between. As I say, you can choose if it's fixed or rate of rise, and you can also disable the LEDs. You'll probably notice the display board at the back of the room with the devices that are active, and as you look at that, you'll see the LEDs are flashing. Without sensors, you can now disable that red LED flashing because some members of the public have mistaken that for a fire condition. So to prevent confusion, you can turn off the LED. This will cut down service time and it will cut down injuries as well. So people will no longer injure their fingers when activating the call point.
النوع ده مناسب جدا لمصر ان شعبنا شعب فضولي بطبعه فبيلاقي اكسر هنا او بريك جلاس يروح سامع الكلام وكسره ومن غير حريقه فالريسيتابل ده كويس لا بيعور ولا ويرجع على طول كتير من الاحيان يقول لك الحقونا عايز 10 ازازات او كده فالريسيتابل ده نوع كويس جدا ما اعرفش ما بيغيرش ترجع بالظبط كده هل بتوصفها يا دكتور ولا
I won't go through all of them today because we'll be here until midnight talking about their features and their functionality but each of the modules are discussed in detail in our literature. However, the first 6 modules in white are what we 27. Okay, and they are loop powered, so their functionality is quite small. They don't use a lot of power, so they can get their power from the control panel. With the other 3 modules, these will sit on the loop, they will take an address, but they must have a 24-volt power supply connected because they have a larger function. To give you an example, the dual zone module would allow you to connect up to 60 conventional detectors. That's 30 per zone. It gives you 2 conventional zones, very much like a conventional control panel. So you can interface conventional equipment onto that system. But because of that, it needs to power those devices, so it needs a 24-volt power supply. This is a Hochiki bass sounder which was designed and is manufactured in the UK by us. And it's been designed with a lot of thought and it's been designed to save time, mainly for the engineer, upon installation and for maintenance. I mentioned that all of our ESP devices will utilise the handheld programmer. With the bass sounder, you can use this device in one of 2 ways. The most common way is underneath a sensor as a bass sounder. So it takes one position and you have a smoke sensor and then you have a sounder. That then becomes the address of the bass sounder. Okay? So your sensor is address 10, your bass sounder becomes 137. So you can accommodate 127 sensors and 127 bass sounders on one Hochiki loop. We have the bass sounder beacon. This has all of the same features and benefits as the bass sounder, but it now has the added benefit of a flashing beacon as well. The addressing is the same. Simply put it underneath the sensor, auto learn the panel, and you then get a sub-address. But this device, again, has 3 modes of operation. It can be a bass sounder, a bass beacon, or a bass sounder beacon. Unlike a lot of our competitors, you actually have independent control of the sounder and the beacon, so you can disable one of them if you wish. Okay?
دي خاصية ممتازة يعني سرينة وفلاشر مع الديتكتور في قاعدة واحدة مع أعتقد بالمنافسين ما عندهمش القصة دي الله أعلم بس أعتقد متفردين بيها يعني.
الله أعلم.
الله أعلم.
Obviously, both the bass sounders and wall sounders have different sound outputs. The bass sounder and bass sounder beacon is 50 dB up to 98 dB. The wall sounder is 90 to 102. Okay, but they're all addressed either automatically or using a handheld programmer, depending on the type of installation. The wall sounder in the larger picture is for indoor use. We can offer a weatherproofing kit, which will increase the rating to IP65 for outdoor installations, car parks, open areas, etc. And as well as the wall sounder, we have a wall sounder beacon. Same benefits and features as the wall sounder, same volumes, same addressing method, same weatherproofing kit, same mounting bases, but again you can have a wall sounder, a wall beacon, or a wall sounder beacon, 3 modes of operation with independent control, which is again, some of our competitors don't have that functionality. So you have more control over the device. All of the sounders you have just seen all have the same tones. There are 51 different tones available. So whether you have bass sounders or wall sounders in the same installation, you have the same tones throughout the building. We also have a range of addressable beacons. These have a 1 Hz flash frequency, but they utilise the same base as our sensors. So there's no other special bases needed. Use the same mounting base as our smoke and heat sensors, and they are again addressed using the handheld programmer with a main address. Red, blue and yellow are the 3 colour options in the cause and effect software. Our sensors utilise one of two mounting bases, the standard base or an isolator base. Both of those bases have 3 terminals. The third terminal is for a local remote indicator, which must be hardwired to that base. However, we can offer you an addressable version. This can be installed in a completely separate building on a completely different loop on a different control panel on the network, but be associated to another sensor using the cause and effect software. So you can have 64 control panels networked, each running a number of loops in separate buildings, several kilometres apart, and they can be connected using the cause and effects. It's a very secure system.
Cerberus, yes.
But with BS5039, roughly 4 or 5 isolators per loop should be sufficient. But the Kentec panels have built-in loop isolators.
Every 15 or 20 detector will put
15 to 20 smoke detectors on average.
Yes.
That will be reduced for heat sensors because they have a smaller area of coverage. But yeah, if you have, say, 20 sensors, 127 devices, 100 devices, 4 or 5 isolated bases on one loop.
What about other types of detectors? If Hochiki manufacture, you talk only about the types of optic detectors. But what other types, like beam detectors, like you have manufacturers?
Yes, yeah. So, as I mentioned, we have the handheld programmer, battery powered, very lightweight, and it's designed to program all of our sensors, call points, all their visual equipment as well. It uses a standard 9-volt battery, which will get approximately 8 to 10,000 addresses from one battery before it has to be replaced. I mentioned earlier analog values with our smoke sensors. You can check the analog value of our smoke sensor on the control panel or on the handheld programmer. So you've got 2 ways of verifying the readings to see if it needs cleaning. So it's not just designed for setting addresses. There's a range of different bases specific to the conventional range. We also have 4 different heat detectors for 60 and 90 degree heat thresholds, both fixed and rate of rise, again for a wide variety of heat detection installations. I mentioned a range of mounting bases. We have a standard mounting base and also a range of bases with a built-in relay as well for further control.
الريلي ماونتنج بيز دي جميله جدا. بدل ما ابعت سيجنال من الكنترول بانل لغايه التكييف عشان افصله او كده، لا، مع البيس نفسه. فممكن اقرب بيس لماكينه التكييف يبقى قللت في الكيبلينج. ففي عندي ريلي ماونتنج بيس، عندي ريلي سيركت مع الديتكتور، فاقرب مكنه تكييف، اقرب مروحه عايز افصلها. فدي فكره جميله جدا جدا، مش محتاج اروح لغايه الكنترول بانل.
This may look very strange. This is actually an old design of Hochiki's, but it's proven so reliable, we still sell these devices today. This is what we call a mechanical device. It's from the earlier Hochiki range. It's an IP67 rated heat detector. And when we say mechanical, when the heat in the room exceeds 60 degrees Celsius, the bimetallic strip will change shape, come into contact with a switch to trigger a fire alarm condition. When this device is in its normal status, it draws 0 standby current. It only draws current when it goes into alarm. And we also have the HO24, the UV flame detector. This device will pick up a UV light source from a flaming fire up to 8 meters away, mounted on the ceiling or onto the wall. It's sometimes utilised inside large equipment for maintenance. And we also have, again, call points in the conventional range, both indoors and outdoor versions of call points. As well as the standard range of detectors, as Mr. Maga mentioned, we also have the intrinsically safe detectors. We have an intrinsically safe smoke detector, an intrinsically safe heat detector, and intrinsically safe call point as well. These are designed for hazardous type of environments using the appropriate safety barrier. So petrochemical plants, some chemical processes, and various areas where there may be hazardous gases or liquids in that type of environment. We also have a small marine range of devices a marine-approved smoke detector, and 2 marine-approved heat detectors as well.
برضه مارين ابروف ده بيحتاج احيانا في السفن والمراكب او المشاريع تانية، برضه من الشركات القليله اللي بتعمل مارين ابروفد.
And we also now have an industrial flame detector. This is a triple infrared flame detector. It will pick up a flame which is approximately 10 centimeters square, more than 25 meters away. If the flame is larger, it will reach up to 40 meters in distance. We offer 3 versions of this device. We offer a standard version for normal installations, we do an intrinsically safe version, and we do an explosion-proof version.
This is IR?
Infrared, yeah.
Infrared.
This is a triple IR. It looks at 3 different types of frequencies within a flaming fire. So it's not prone to false alarms, it's not affected by sunlight, it's not affected by infrared torches, etc. It's looking for particular frequencies within a fire condition. These devices can be mounted on a bracket, which is fully adjustable, left and right and up and down. So you can point the flame detector to the exact spot where you think the risk will be present. We also have some beam detectors within our conventional range. This is a reflective beam detector. It's been around for many years and it's proven very reliable and very popular. This particular device consists of a transmitter and receiver in one housing and a prismatic reflector. This particular device will cover a distance of 30 meters, minimum 5 meters up to a maximum of 30 meters. 30 meter distance, yeah.
Distance and width?
Total width will be 15 metres, 7.5 metres, so total area coverage is 450 square metres.
30 meter maximum.
According to height.
Height.
What about height or width?
The width has no bearing on the height. It's a pencil-lined beam, and because it's a optical beam detector, it has the same detection principles as smoke detectors. So if you have an infrared pencil-like beam from the transmitter bouncing back off the reflector, 7.5 metres to the left, 7.5 metres to the right. Same area of coverage, so you get 450 square metres. There are obviously height limitations. Obviously we follow BS 5839, and I believe you can go up to about 40 metres, 25 or as standard, but up to 40 metres if you've got 5 minutes response time. Like an airport, for example, with its own fire alarm.
You don't have separate transmitter receiver?
We do.
Coming.
We have the SPCET. This is a separate transmitter and receiver unit. This particular equipment will cover a total distance of 5 to 100 metres. And again, 7.5 metres to the left, 7.5 metres to the right. So a total area coverage of 1,500 square metres. Much the same as almost a zone for BS, which is 2,000 square metres. Both the units are powered from the zone, from a conventional control panel. They can also be put onto the ESP interface modules and be powered from those modules as well. You simply connect the units to the zone, power them up, set the alignment, make your sensitivity settings on this particular device, and then you close the cover. Takes approximately 5 to 10 minutes to make all the adjustments and the settings. Simply close the cover, 2 or 3 minutes to make its settings and for it to calibrate, and then it's ready to be tested.
Can you explain latching or non-latching fault option?
Yes, with this beam detector now, you have 4 DIL switches on the inside. 2 of the DIL